Hey YouTube, Roscoe here. At the end of my day, I wanted to make a quick video about things and how surrounding this shooting of kids in a school in Florida. Early in the week, a guy walked into a school in Florida, shot 17 people to death, and wounded 15 others. And once again, America has launched into this debate about gun control and school security. And to be honest with you, I just don't think anything that's being offered and what I see in the media, for the most part, is of any value that's going to solve the problem. And I really believe we need to get this problem solved because it is really poisoning the well in a lot of cases as far as getting something done in this country politically. Because it, like abortion, gun control is very divisive, and it's largely fueled by these school shootings. So where am I going here? Well, this school shooting and one of the other school shootings I'm familiar with kind of illustrates the point I'd like to make with this video. A kid walked into this school in Florida. He started shooting people. He was approached by the unarmed security guard / football coach, where he then executed that man and then went on his merry way and killing more people. And that's how that played out. Right after he had walked past the gun-free zone sign. Now, if you go to look up there was a school shooting in a little town called Pearl, Mississippi, and there was a man that worked at that school as an administrator named Joel Myrick, and he gave an interview to a program called The Story, and you can look that up, and I recommend you do. I'll try to put a link below in the description, because he took action, and he has a much different view than most people have, and I tend to share his view after listening to the interview and thinking about this an awful lot. Joel Myrick, he realizes there's an active shooter at his school, and he goes out to his truck and retrieves a pistol he keeps locked there for self-defense that he's not allowed to carry inside the school. He then confronts the shooter, disarms him, and holds him until the police can come and pick him up. Now, he's just an amazing guy, and he's exactly who you want in this situation. He's a great example of what we should be shooting for. Military experience. He was wise. He was kind. He shows incredibly good judgment, and he's very brave. So the thing that I'd like to also touch on here, aside from what I think we need to do, is what's being offered and why I think that those things are just, actually, in my opinion, they're actually idiotic. And let's start with the anti-gun side and what they're proposing. And what I am hearing proposed is another assault weapons ban, which we've tried before that did not work, and raising the age of the person buying a rifle to 21. Well, those are idiotic things that will not affect school shootings in the least. The deadliest school shooting in America was with a pistol at Virginia Tech. It was not done with an assault rifle or a long gun of any sort. Also, if you ban assault weapons, I don't know about you, but I find the idea of someone walking through a high school with a shotgun to be horrifying. And there's just no way on God's green earth in the next 20 years you're going to ban shotguns in America. So I don't think that will work because it's just not going to stop the shootings. Another thing is, let's say you could get it passed, which I don't believe you can. Congress can't even pass a budget at this point. And it's going to be 4 or 5, maybe 6 years down the road before you get it passed. And how many kids are going to die between now and then? And that's even if the thing you write into law will make a difference, which I personally believe the things being offered today will not make a difference. And the point is to stop the school shootings. That's the point. And it seems that the things they're proposing will not do that. And then there's the other side. Pretty much what I consider to be the pro-gun side. And I don't know why these are the only people weighing in on this. I wish some more security people were weighing in on it. But the pro-gun side is just as nutty. Wayne LaPierre, that custom suit wearing guy who's gotten rich from lobbying Congress and telling Joe Sixpack what he ought to think about guns. And I can't stand that guy. His proposal is to have teachers armed. And That's ridiculous. Has he ever met a teacher? Teachers don't go into to education to learn to be gunfighters. They go to educate children. They're not of the mindset of the kind of person you need to deal with this problem. Joel Myrick had military training, and that equipped him for this. But most teachers do not have that. And have you not noticed that teachers are already overworked and underpaid? And we're going to ask them to spend 5 or 6 weekends a year doing some firearm training? Because if they're not going to do that, they're not going to be well prepared, and they're not going to be able to safely carry a pistol in a room full of children. And without the training and without the competence, they're more of a danger to themselves and the children than help. And so where am I? That's why I think that is out to lunch. That's a solution that not only isn't fair to the teachers, but it won't work. And then there's the other part of the gun community. And let me make this clear: I'm part of the gun community. I bought my first rifle when I was about 12, and I shoot. I enjoy it. I've hunted a lot in the past, and I use my rifle to defend my home and my farm. But come on, guys. If you think, I'm here to tell you, if you believe the Second Amendment is untouchable, you're just out to lunch. Enough little kids get shot in the head at school. The mothers of America are going to raise up in arms, and they're going to change the Constitution, because there's a mechanism within the Constitution to do just that. And once that ball gets rolling, you will never stop it. You have got to get involved. You have got to do something about these school shootings. You can't just keep going to the gun range with your chubby friends and saying no, no, no to everything someone brings up. We need to have a conversation about what to do about this. And if it doesn't get fixed, we're going to keep having this conversation every year or so. And eventually, the Second Amendment is going to be dead in the water. And you can think what you want, but that's my view on that. So where am I going here? What do I think we ought to do? Well, what I think we ought to do is apply common sense to this. And if you had something really valuable and you went to a security firm and you asked them what you should do to protect it, he's first going to tell you, the guys that works for them, first going to tell you, well, I want you to do all these passive things first, like better locks, maybe a gate on your driveway, some security cameras, better lighting. Well, we've done those things at schools. We put in locks on the doors. We put up signs. We put up cameras. We've taught people to run, hide, fight, that whole thing, which I'd like to point out did not help anybody in Florida. 17 dead, 15 wounded, and that the person that shot all those people walked right past the gun-free zone sign. So all of those things we're doing, those are simply not working. So I've done all those things, and I still feel like what it is I value is threatened, and I go back to the security guy, and what they're going to say to you is then, if you don't feel like your situation is secure enough, you're going to need to go get some training and buy a firearm and protect what is valuable to you. And a lot of people would balk at that. They go, well, I don't really want to be a gunslinger. I don't want to kill people. And then that person's going to say to you, well, that's my recommendation to you. Now, if you can't handle that, I do have men on my staff who are well trained, and we can provide that service for you. And that seems like a reasonable solution almost everywhere else in the world except the schools. Now, we do this for the president. We do this for Congress. We do it for movie stars, and we do it for sports figures. There are armed guards in malls and supermarkets. There are armed guards in banks and even liquor stores. Now, I don't know what's wrong with Americans, but do we value liquor stores and banks more than we do our own children? Children are the most valuable thing we have in a society. We are responsible for protecting them. Now, why do you think they have security guards in those places that are armed? Because people get shot there, and they need someone there with a gun who will shoot back and keep a lunatic from shooting people. And that's exactly the situation we have in our schools, lunatics showing up unopposed. So I'm for putting an armed, trained security guard in every school in America. And in larger schools, maybe more than one. We have thousands of returned veterans who are underemployed. We have lots of semi-retired and retired policemen that would love to have a job working in a school where they can meet a lot of nice young kids and be a good role model and continue to serve their community. And also, these men, by and large, are not the kind of people that run from the action, they run towards it. And they are the kind of people that can go from 0 to 60, meaning they can go from a normal everyday life to facing down a dangerous person. They're the kind of men that are willing to step between our children and bad people and do the hard thing that is going to be required to put an end to these shootings. And the reason I'm so adamant about this is we can do that now, and we need to do something right now. We cannot tolerate any more of these shootings. If my son is in school and there's a person in that school trying to kill him, you know what I want? I want a well-armed, well-trained person who's willing to put himself between my son and the bad guy and do what needs to be done. I don't want to wait for the police. That school shooting in Florida, 7 minutes. How many police departments can respond and adequately protect people in 7 minutes? So this is my solution that's very practical and I think would solve the problem. There are going to still be a couple school shootings, but they will end quickly and the person will not achieve what they set out to do and they'll be put down like the dog that they are. And eventually people will quit doing this. We put that gun-free zone sign on schools, and that's just like ringing the dinner bell for a shark. Let's put up a sign that says the staff at this school is well-trained, well-armed, and ready to protect and defend the children of this school. That's the sign we need to have up. And people that they're doing these things go to schools because they know no one's going to oppose them and they can do what they want. Well, they're going to quit doing that when people start shooting back. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. I want a well-trained, well-armed individual in every school in America who can take charge, handle a desperate situation without endangering the children further. Kind of my thoughts on that. So I spend a lot of time alone. Maybe I'm not thinking real clearly, but it seems to me that's the only real practical solution there is. So if you have any comments, put them down below. I'd love to get a conversation started. And I'm going to probably go sit down and have a cup of coffee maybe on this nice kind of late winter evening and sit in front of the wood fire and read a book. Maybe do something similar or the same. So thanks for taking your time. Roscoe out.